Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks, and tonight I'm talking about Ticketmaster. Now, it was reported today that Ticketmaster is working on a plan to use smartphones to verify whether customers have been vaccinated or tested for the virus. While the plan is still in its early phases, Billboard reports the process would involve fans using the Ticketmaster app in partnership with medical information firms and vaccine and testing distributors. You see, this is all in the planning. All these companies, they know what's going on and what will be happening next year with all of these health passports. I see in the USA, some people have seen this story and they're quite shocked. Well, I'm not. This is all coming down the pipeline. Now, on BBC a couple of hours ago, Ticketmaster responded. Here's the article. It says, "No, Ticketmaster won't force you to have a vaccine. Ticketmaster has denied reports that fans will be required to prove they've had a vaccine or a negative test before attending concerts." The story arose from a report in Billboard magazine which said the company wanted to use smartphones to verify fans were free of the disease. While Ticketmaster, it says here, is exploring such an idea, it said there will be absolutely no requirement for mandated vaccines. Okay? Now look at the way this is worded. We have Ticketmaster won't force you to have a vaccine, but it's not saying that it still won't require you to have one on your health passport ID. You may choose not to have it, but if you don't, maybe you won't be allowed into the gig or the show or whatever you're buying a ticket for. And if it's not the vaccine, then it will certainly be the test. I think Ticketmaster are a bit pissed because someone leaked the story. Again, it says at the end, while Ticketmaster is exploring such an idea, it said there will be absolutely no requirement for mandated vaccines. We are not forcing anyone to do anything, it said in a statement. Well, I should hope not. Notice they say mandated vaccine. It just doesn't say vaccines, it says mandated vaccines. Absolutely no requirement for mandated vaccines. They are covering themselves because that could mean that there will be a requirement, but it won't be for a mandatory vaccine, but there will be one for a non-compulsory vaccine. Is that why they put that word there? So we have a health passport, which initially was for flying, okay, and traveling, but it seems now it will be used for everything, for going to the pub, for a drink, for getting your tickets at Ticketmaster, for going to the restaurant, for going to the cinema. And I wouldn't be surprised if it will be used for voting in the future. We have this whole USA election drama going on, accusations of fraud and all of that. So maybe that's the idea. There's a problem. Oh, we have a solution. Passport ID, and also you can vote with it. Is that what they're going to do in the future?
In Hangzhou, to enter a tower block, you need to have your temperature taken and registered. And you must have an app on your phone into which you input your name, temperature, recent travel and ID number. The information generates a color code.
In Hangzhou, to go out of the community or to public activities, you need to have a green code. This green, yellow or red code is automatically decided through the system. It uses big data to decide whether you've been to affected districts or come into contact with those people.
But what if you're well and get a red code anyway? This man says he's self-isolated while visiting Anhui province near Wuhan and back home in Shanghai. But there's no way to challenge the technology.
Our office building here, you need to register. You need to show the code to demonstrate that you're healthy. So when I was red, there was no way I could go to the office and work. I didn't do anything. Then after 2 or 3 days, I looked and suddenly it was green. I don't know why, but I think that although it's not really reasonable, it is still a preventative measure.
Yes, it's a health identification card, it's a high card. It's an application where you can upload your medical records, so you can use it whenever you want and in any language. So it's quite safe. I used to travel with my mother. She has a diabetes, she has a cardiopathy, so she needs to know, or doctors need to know what she has in case of emergency. So I wanted to do that, and now the technology, blockchain, encryption codes, and the double authorization allows us to make a very secure way to store the very delicate data as the medical records are. And now with the COVID, we are doing more in trying to help people to travel safely. We presented the app at the beginning of March to the Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, just to trying to tell him that we can use this application for the recovery of the tourism worldwide, and we can create a kind of link between the health sector to the tourism sector, so we can upload the certifications of vaccinations or immunity, in case they are sometimes, or the PCRs, the results of the PCRs. So when a country asks tourists to have this kind of test before traveling to the country, they can upload this information and keep it very safely in a blockchain technology. So no manipulations allowed. So it's the most safe technology that we can count now to keep this kind of information. This is just the first step. In fact, we are doing a kind of test with the application. This is the beta test of the application. At the end of this month, we are working also with Ibiza and Formentera. We are also organizing this kind of trip. And at the end of the summer, we will have the proper application already launched. The application is a HiCar, it's a health identification car, and you can find it in the app stores in Android, in iOS.
What will you do without freedom?
Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. Some say freedom comes at a cost. Well, it seems in the UK it's going to cost you £5 for 90 days. £5 rapid result pandemic test could offer freedom pass for millions. Yes, the government in the UK have the audacity now to tell you if you want your freedom you have to get a licence from us, and the only way to get it is to pay for a £5 test. It says here, tests that give a result in about 15 minutes could offer a freedom pass to allow millions of Britons to return to day-to-day life. It emerged today.
The government has reportedly spent £200 million on rapid 15-minute COVID tests that could give those with negative results a freedom pass to things like sporting events and concerts. It gives us all hope, but with 50,000 deaths in total reported yesterday, a record figure for Europe, is January just a bit too soon?
I think it would help. At least you would know, you'd have a definitive answer one way or another, and I can't see that there's anything wrong with that. I think it would help. As long as it's down to individuals to do that. It's up to them really if they want to do it or not.
To be, I don't know, if it was administered there and the test was there, the result was shown, and if people then presumably the people letting you in would let you in on that. It seems rather complicated to me, but I think it'd be a wonderful thing if it could happen.
I've got season tickets at West Brom because I can't go. So that'd be great, but I mean, I appreciate that going back to sporting events like that where there's got 20,000 people in a small area, that could be difficult.
After the long lockdown we've had, any news is good news, generally.
I'm very positive about everything. Obviously there's lots of gloom and doom, but I think we're going towards the sunlit uplands with the vaccines and with the mass testing.
How stupid do we look?
The government is reportedly considering buying 200 million of the lateral flow tests, of which 60 million would be available in January. Leaked documents seen by the Daily Telegraph suggest that a deal would be signed next month to acquire 192 million lateral flow tests, which cost about £5 each by next March. This would pave the way for people who tested negative in the morning being allowed to attend football matches, theatres and pubs. So basically, as I said previously in the videos before, this is all part of that digital passport ID nonsense that they have planned as part of the Great Reset. See how they are slowly conditioning you. They have clearly decided freedom is something you require a license from the government now. Are there any people out there who still think this isn't sinister? Here's a few tweets from social media. I'm hoping people are starting to catch on to this now. Government falling apart, economy destroyed, police closing, private businesses and harassing people for being outside, political protests banned, and military testing school children for a virus. Great Reset, this phrase should be applied to politics, nothing else. And now it's a £5 test from next year that allows a person a freedom pass for a day or so to go to the cinema, etc. Sickening. Are people waking up yet? A freedom pass means that they are at the end stages of finally removing our freedom and liberty, just in time for their sick globalist reset in the spring. Don't say you weren't warned. So there's just a few people's opinion on Twitter. As always, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.
What will you do without freedom? Will you fight?